So I'm a science writer based in Portland, Oregon. I've been writing about nature and science for the general public for almost 15 years now, primarily through magazines and newspapers. And this book began almost 10 years ago when I was learning about how the Amazon rainforest makes a large portion of its own rain. And that really flipped things around for me in terms of thinking about the relationship between Earth and life, because I was so used to thinking about how life adapts to its environment and is constantly struggling to keep up with those changes, not how it's profoundly changing its environment. And I got really curious about similar examples, and I started researching those, and I was finding them all over the place, in oceanography and atmospheric science and subterranean research and soil science. And nobody was really talking about all these examples cohesively in a way that the general public could understand. And that was kind of, bringing me into this new understanding of Earth system science. And the Amazon and similar examples, they were immediately Gaian to me. And I'd been aware of Gaia since I was a teenager, but it always had been framed to me in this way of being closer to mysticism than science, not a true crackpot or fringe theory, but just something that wasn't fully embraced by mainstream science. And it never really came up in my undergraduate studies. And so this got me really curious to kind of go back and re-examine things and talk to scientists about, what do they think about Gaia today? Many decades after the initial debates in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, back when Dawkins and his allies were so much more prominent, really, and powerful, and so much has changed since then. So, I eventually developed a book proposal, and then I spent 6 years reporting this book and writing this book and researching this book and traveling to all the incredible ecosystems. I really wanted the book to be globally diverse in its settings and in its characters to really represent the Earth as a whole. And it's basically my attempt to kind of bring this new way, this new slash old way, this kind of revived way of thinking about Earth to the general public. And I really see my book as part of a larger movement. There's a lot of scientists and writers that are thinking about these ideas in really interesting ways right now. And there's already been some books published that, are exploring similar ideas. And I know of several more that are on the way this year or next year or very soon. So I really think we're going to see these waves of, reconsideration, reanimation, reappreciation of Gaian thinking, Earth system science, these kinds of ideas.